So, you ever wonder why we're so weird? Why we've got a business model that nobody else is following? Let's talk about that. I get a lot of questions, and they range from people that I talk to in person. They come from people that I talk to at conventions, and they come from email, Facebook, and I try to answer them as best I can. And when something gets asked enough times, I go ahead and make a video of it. My name's Eagle. I'm the publisher at No Earth Comics, and today we're going to talk about co-ops and shared universes. We're going to talk about why the business model of No Earth is the way it is. First, let's go over one very simple thing. What is a co-op? Co-op is short for cooperative. And a co-op is a particularly stable form of business model because it is jointly owned by the very people that are participating in it. When you have a farmer's co-op, it is the farmers running a farmer supply and company. When you have a farmer's market, it's usually the farmers running a cooperative market. They all own it. They're all part of it. In smaller towns, you'll often find electric co-ops or other utility co-ops. And artist co-ops are actually fairly common. Co-ops are not normal in comic books, and this is because it's a more difficult business model to pull off. And the reason being is that you have to get a bunch of artistic types to get together and agree on things. I tend to refer to what I do at No Earth as chief cat herder. And there's a lot of truth to that because I'm dealing with a bunch of artistic types, and writers are just as artistic as artists. And they are just as prone to all of the foils and pitfalls of being an artistic type. And I spend a lot of time dealing with this aspect of the business. But in truth, putting together a shared universe running under a co-op business model made sense to me. It's not what I originally tried to do, but as soon as I took a good, hard look at the economic models behind comic books, and by the way, this video is going to bridge into a series on the problems with the economic models of the comic book industry. So as soon as I took a good hard look at the economic problems, it became obvious that there needed to be something else, that what was going on didn't work. And so the co-op evolved out of what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was have a successful comic book company. Now we're talking about a particular industry where most companies fail. In most businesses, 50% of the companies fail within the first 4 years. In comic books, the number is higher. We don't know the exact numbers because nobody's keeping track of it. Also, a lot of comic book companies are never legitimate companies. And I'm not saying that to say that they're illegitimate. I'm saying that to say that they haven't jumped through the hoops necessary to be part of the governmental tracking numbers. They don't have a business license. They don't have a tax number. They don't have all of the things that normal businesses get because comic books are honestly treated as a bit of a hobby by a lot of people. And this includes the people that are attempting to make money at it. And what I wanted to do with No Earth was create something that was going to last. And whereas normal business models have a 40% failure rate, a 40% success rate, co-ops have an 80% success rate. They are more stable because even if somebody drops out, the co-op can keep going. It's more of an organic being than a single owner corporation. So that's why the co-op model was chosen. Now then, what exactly is a co-op? In our case, we're using a modified co-op, but the whole point of a co-op is cooperation. And so we are pooling resources, we are pooling knowledge, we are pooling skill, we are pooling everything that goes into producing comic books. And there are no bosses. I am not technically the boss. I'm a shareholder. Now then, does that not mean that I'm the driving force behind this? No, I am the driving force behind this. You know, I don't like being the only driving force behind it, but I am the driving force behind it. I'm the one who is providing the inspiration and the motivation to get things done. I don't get paid for that. That's not part of the shares that I have in No Earth. The shares that I have in No Earth are all from my creative endeavors within No Earth. There is no paid staff position because this is a cooperative. We have a number of people within the co-op that fulfill various staff positions while still being creators going after shares their own way. As an example, we have an artist who is also a graphics designer and is providing us with web design services. We have an author who is providing us with editorial board services, so on and so forth. This is just part of how a co-op works. It is a spirit of cooperation. That's what it's about. Now then, why didn't we use a standard business model? This is actually a fairly easy thing to answer because standard business models involve certain things that we didn't want to accumulate, such as debt, such as creditors, such as equity owners, such as all of the things that cause businesses to fail, because if you borrow money from people, eventually they want it back. So we chose a no capital startup, and we chose a co-op model, and we have chosen to remain debt-free. It means we're slower getting started. But being debt-free is actually very important. It means nobody can call in the debts. It means our bills get paid on time. If we don't have the money, we don't buy it. If we don't have the money, we don't invest it. If we don't have the money, we wait until we have the money. It's slower. It's more conservative. But in the end, what it means is that nobody owns us. Nobody can come in and say, well, I now own 20% of the company. No, you don't. It's never going to happen. We're never going to let investors come in on this company because this company is owned by the creators. We like that. So, the share system. I just had a wonderful little flame war on Reddit over the share system because a number of professional artists were acting in a very unprofessional manner and questioning the low pay on the share system. I have stated again and again on the website, in our ads, on these videos, that right now our shares are paying abysmally low. Let me repeat that for anybody in the back of the room. If you're after money, this is not the company for you. Anybody unclear on that? Our most highly paid creator crossed the $100 mark in the last 2 months. 22-page book plus the cover. This means that if you do the math, that artist is been paid so far $4 a page. We haven't hidden this. This is not news. This is not anything that anybody who's been following this is not aware of. So, why are we doing a share system? Why aren't we doing work for hire? Once again, we're intent on remaining debt-free. This means that in order to do what the standard is at this point and hire artists at a page rate, even a low page rate of, say, $30 a page. And there are plenty of artists out there that will jump at $30 a page. There's artists out there that will jump at $20 a page. There's artists out there that will jump at $10 a page, because there's a lot of artists out there that understand that so far their art has brought them zero. The idea of getting paid anything is huge. But rather than do that and then have to make our money back, rather than invest money that we don't have and then have to make it back, instead we're doing the share system. And every time somebody turns in a page, there are 4 shares assigned to that page. And these shares are split between the writer and the artist. Now, in my case, all of my artists get 3 shares and I get 1. Because, number 1, I'm an artist on 2 books, and number 2, I'm a writer on like a half dozen. I don't have any problem coming up with shares. I want them to have the most shares. Honestly, if it weren't for the principle of the thing, I'd give them all 4 shares. But there's a principle involved. So those shares, historically, have paid between 3 cents and 15 cents a piece. Needless to say, it's going to take you a little while to accumulate money using this system. So why are we using it? Because when the business expands, and right now we're still a startup. Let's be perfectly clear about that. We've got 3 books out. We've been to 5 conventions with those 3 books. Actually, we've been to 3 conventions with those 3 books. We went to 2 with just 1 book. There's not much income. There will be more income because we're expanding our line. And this is something that a lot of people don't get. This is basic marketing. The more things you have in your catalog, the more things you sell. Most of our sales are 3 books. One customer will buy all 3 books. This is because they want to read all of it. They want to read everything we've got. When we get 4 books, or when we get 4 issues of a single book, they'll buy all 4 issues. They're going to buy a run. They're going to buy a line. They're going to buy in quantity. And the more things you have in your catalog, the more chances you have to have something that they like. So the bigger of a catalog you have, the more customers you're going to have, the more things they're going to buy. It's simple economics. This is why when an author comes out with a brand new book, the bookstore all of a sudden has all of his back catalog on the shelves again, because they know that back catalog is going to sell. And that's what we're anticipating, is our back catalog becoming the bulk of our sales at some point in time. But the share system ensures that when we bring money into the company, it gets divvied up among the creators in a fair and impartial manner. And that's why we're using it. It also assures that we have a continuity, that this is a semi-royalty system. It's not a true royalty system, because we're not basing the royalties off the sale of the particular item. We're basing it off the sales of the company in total. So we keep using the word shares. Does this mean that the people who hold the shares own the company? Yes. Flat out, yes. This company is not owned by me. It's not owned by another corporation. We have a corporation that is our parent corporation, but the company itself is owned by the shareholders. Do they get to make decisions? Most of the time I make the decisions, but I do consult with them every time that there is a decision that is going to affect them, because I'm not going to play with people's money and their ownership of the company without consulting them. So I think that covers the basic questions about the co-op and the shares. Next, people ask why we're working on so many different projects. Why not simply work on one or two and make them the best that we can? There's some of these questions that I get that I just want to shake the person gently. But I want to shake them and see if something will settle into place a little bit better. The reason we're working on so many different projects is because starting in January, we're going to publish a new book every month, a new comic every month. The lead time on a comic at Marvel is about 4 months. The lead time on a comic with us is 6 months to a year. You see, Marvel writes the story, an artist draws it in a month, the rest of the team finishes up in next month, and 3 months after the initial story is requested, it's finished. Everybody's done their part on it. We can't work that way because we don't have people working full-time on this. We have no full-time artists. We have no full-time writers. Everybody is doing this more or less as a hobby. Everybody involved with this has a real job. This is what they do in their spare time. So we go like this. We get the pitch. That pitch is going to get processed in anywhere from a month to a year, depending on how responsive the writer is. Once we get that to an artist, once we get the pitch into a script, then we've got to get it to an artist. And only in the last 6 months have we started being able to match artists to writers on a regular basis. We used to have to beg for artists, but more and more artists are seeing that we're serious and that we are publishing. And so more and more artists are joining our team. In fact, the ad that I just put up on Reddit and Facebook resulted in me actually having to go back and take a good long look at the collaborations chart because all of a sudden we had more artists than we had script-ready projects. That was a first, by the way. We have never had more artists than we've had script-ready projects. This is fantastic. I'm happy. Seriously, I have been bouncing off the walls. This is fantastic. Okay. I went away for a moment. I'm back now. The thing to remember is that it takes us, like I said, anywhere from 6 months to a year to put a book together. So therefore, we started planning our January Blitz a month ago. And since then, we've been picking projects very carefully to do 3 things. The first thing is a project with a writer and an artist that work together enough to turn out the product in the next 6 to 7 months. This sounds like something that's quite easily done, and it's not. It's cat herding. The second thing is we wanted things that were going to be appealing from a sales point of view. So we were specifically picking projects that we thought had some commercial appeal. And the third thing is we were picking projects that did not duplicate something that we were already doing because we're wanting to expand the scope of the No Earth universe and in doing so draw in more of a fan base. Because if you don't like any of the 3 comics we've got out right now, just wait, we're about to put one out that you like. Seriously, we've got some great stuff coming. There's some books coming that are going to fill a bunch of niches that we don't have even hinted at right now. So that's why we're doing so many projects, is because 2018 is going to be the year we fill out our catalog. My hope is that by 2019, that 1 book a month is not even going to be a goal anymore. That 1 book a month is going to be our minimum. By 2019, we hope to have issues 3 and 4 of several of our series coming out. So that's why we're doing so many projects right now. And before you say, well, why not concentrate on the ones you can do well? Because of the process that we have put into place using the editorial board and the collaboration medium of Google Docs, we're not having to skimp on quality on anything. Everything that's going to be coming out is going to be coming out with as much quality as we can put into it. Now keep in mind, we're amateurs. Okay, we're not professional comic people. We're trying to become that. But I'm really happy with the quality that we've got built into this. So, next question I've been getting is, why a shared universe? Why can't I just bring my project to you and let you publish it? Well, remember that back catalog I'm talking about? One of the things about a shared universe is that people become a built-in fan base. If they like one book in our universe, they're going to try the other books. The other thing is, this gives us more of a market. It gives us more of a niche. It allows us to expand in ways that we could not do if we were simply publishing a bunch of unrelated stories. And it gives us a company identity, because the name of the company is also the name of the universe. And that's the purpose behind that. Now, I think that pretty much covers everything that I've been getting multiple questions on. This is, like I said, this is going to wind up being a lead into what is wrong with the current economic situation in comic books, and expect that first video to be coming soon. But for now, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you've got any questions, any comments, leave them in the comments. Email me, PM me on Reddit, PM me on Facebook, whatever, passenger pigeon. I don't care. I just like to hear from people. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a like, leave a comment. But thank you very much. We're going to talk again.